Sound speeds! Whether you're an amateur or professional sound person, I think you'll agree with me that putting a boom microphone in a noisy shock mount is going to give you unacceptable results in every way, shape, matter, and form. Shock mounts come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and the suspension can be made of anything from plastic isolators to elastic bands. And you have to understand how those work and how they properly balance a microphone in order to prevent them from making noise. Shock mounts like a Sonella is designed specifically for one microphone, and by putting it securely inside, the microphone will be held precisely as designed by the plastic isolators. And so if you put a different microphone in there, it's going to be weighted different and not effective in a Sonella. Picking the right shock mount for your microphone is very important because it's not as simple as saying, oh look, my microphone will fit inside of there. It's going to hold it just fine. No, there's a little bit more to it than that. Sound people all over the world have their preferences on how they like to properly balance their microphones inside of their shock mounts. Just like how they have their favorite microphones, they also have their favorite shock mounts, and they swear that their preferences are the very best ones. And just like any other professional sound person, I too have my own preferences when it comes down to shock mounts. And I have used everything from Universal K-Tex to the McDonald mounts, but for this demonstration, I'm going to be using one of my favorites, which is the Rycote Inv-7 Lyre. Just like anything else in life, I find that balance is key when properly positioning your boom microphone within a shock mount. And there's many different schools of thought on how to properly do it, and in this video, I'm going to show you my method. Some people prefer to put as much of the microphone as they can in front of the shock mount, leaving very little in the back. That way, when they hold it over an actor, the pole stays higher and the microphone hangs lower. But in my opinion, this isn't ideal or efficient because it's not balanced. When I'm putting a boom microphone on a shock mount, first I attach the cable. Then I find the center point where it is going to be perfectly balanced. When I do that, I know exactly where the center of that microphone is, and I drop it in perfectly between two identical suspensions. That is, as long as there's equal tension on the suspensions themselves. By doing that, the microphone is centered by weight, balanced by the cable on one side and the extra tip on the other. So when I hold this over somebody, it is going to be properly balanced now. When properly centering a shotgun microphone, you'll find that the balance point is closer to the windscreen, and so it's not going to fit properly inside of an Inv-7. But you want that windscreen to stay on there, so don't remove it. So what can you do instead? An Inv-7 is not the proper shock mount for a shotgun microphone. Instead, opt for an Inv-6. This allows the microphone center to be closer to the plastic isolators, making it easier for you to balance closer to the windscreen. Once again, I have found the center point for this microphone. Now watch what happens. If I drop it in right there, it's going to be centered in the middle of this, still giving plenty of room for that windscreen. Now this microphone is properly balanced inside the shock mount, and even though it seems more wobbly when you wobble it all over the place, it is actually more secure than it would be if you put it all the way to the end. Look at this thing. How is this good? Improperly balanced microphones inside of shock mounts can make all kinds of undesirable noises. Everything from clicks to whatever you would call it if you stretch your rubber band between two fingers and you gave it a little strum. Dong. Using this method to properly balance a microphone inside of a shock mount is what I refer to as a best practice. It's served me well for years, and if you don't have a similar best practice or technique that you use, then I strongly recommend that you start with this technique and then modify it and tweak it according to your own preferences. So keep this in mind because I find this to be sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.